and thanks for joining us on Profit with a Plan podcast. This is where you can get some great ideas to create your most profitable small business. Just so you know, financial planning isn't only for those that have a lot of money or run big companies. A workable financial plan is for us everyday small business owners and professionals that want to make great financial decisions that lead to bigger profits. So join me, Marcia, your financial business strategist, fractional CFO, and certified financial planner each Tuesday for some smart ideas that can add more profits to your bottom line. I help ambitious business owners grow their profits using unique ways of growing their income and spending strategically that produce bigger profits without killing themselves or chasing more clients. If you're curious, let's chat and share my podcast, and we can see how we can work together to create more profits in your business. So I'm super excited today to bring my friend LoriAnne Reeves to talk about the business psychology and the new normal out there. So LoriAnne's mission in the world is to work with her clients and followers to build and grow business that makes a difference in the world and makes great money all at the same time, right? Sounds good. Her psychological power tools get results for her clients that position them as million-dollar business owners and have the ability to be more profitable and sustainable in the long run. The combination of strong strategy, right? We talk about that all the time, and psychology is the key to getting any business to the $1 million mark and beyond. See, Lori's ideal for our podcast. She talks right as our language. Her background with 8 years as a sales rep and sales manager and her master's in psychology gets her clients the results they need while understanding the psychology and underlying motivations of the buyer and their own psychology as the seller. She works with businesses and companies to position the leaders to lead from doing as a leader and being a leader in all aspects of the company's leadership. Prior to her current business, LoriAnne has had a private practice as a marriage and family therapist, another tool we need, and as a consultant working with companies with difficult employees and leaders for the team cohesiveness and leadership preparedness. She also is the go-to expert for companies when sudden change, layoffs, and unexpected trauma occurs on the site to help navigate the situation and create a plan for moving forward. This is perfect for today's time. Besides her master's in psychology, LoriAnne is a certified transformation and leadership coach and certified in the cutting edge work of systemic leadership and organization consultant. She's been an entrepreneur for 20 years like us and is also an international speaker and author. My goodness, Lori. Wow. Thank you for coming on Profit with a Plan.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we were talking briefly and I was thinking, well, you know what? Normally I shrink down the introductions to just kind of give a hindsight of an outline of what my guests' capabilities are. But then I kept looking and going, well, maybe I'll take this out. No, this is pertinent to what we're talking about. Well, maybe I'll cut that out. No, this is exactly what we need. So I left the long introduction, which really puts you in a platform for being a great guest and helping us through difficult times, which we're all facing now as the economy and the new normal is here. Talk to us about how you think the new normal is affecting the way we do business today.
So right now, I think the biggest thing that's happening right now is this. People are not sure if they should be making offers to anyone. There's just this hesitation whether you should sell your stuff or give away your stuff and so what I'm seeing like today, it'll change in a week or so. So we know that right now is that I think you should be as generous as possible in terms of your free stuff and really serve your community. But at the same time, what's different about selling, if people are reaching out to you, have a sales conversation, make an offer, extend payment plans maybe, make it a little easier for them to join you or whatever you're doing. And so think about it as a 2-week to 30-day adjustment, because right now most businesses are doing two things. They're either in crisis for the next 14 days, or they're figuring out for the next 3 to 6 months how they can survive. And then we'll go into the recovery period. And once we go through the recovery period, we'll go through the growth period, and then we'll go back to vision and mission and movement. So there's a real ladder of what's going to happen. What we don't know with the virus is what it's actually going to look like. We don't have a whole lot. We have some history between 9/11 and the 2008 that we can take some lessons from there. But the virus is really different. It's shutting down everyone. And so business is still going on. It just looks different right now.
It sure does. And you just represented the typical business cycle we face in business.
Yes.
And it sounds like what we're doing is we're just going to compact it into the time period that we're facing. So that normal business cycle will go maybe 10 years. Sounds like we're shrinking it into a micro economy and how we're going to weave through that. And I love that, because I went, yeah, I remember that. I think the thing that I'd like to ask you is, how do we keep our mind focused on moving forward instead of that panic mode that we all seem to be in? Because I'm working from home, you're working from your gorgeous home. We have people in the house and we have things going on. How do we keep our mind moving in the right direction?
Yeah, so the most important thing to remember is you're going to feel any feeling, whether it's stress, fear, doubt, in your body first. So if anything, you've got to be attuned while you're at home and talking to people and trying to maintain your business or survive your business, and think about how it affects you in your body first, because it goes from your body to your mind to your feelings and then out of your mouth. And so there are some simple exercises that can help you identify what I call fear signatures. And fear signatures help around anxiety and stress also. So we're going to gift that to your people, and we'll get the URL to them.
Love it.
What I've created here is identify what your fear signature is. We all have one. There are 5 of them, and it's just not the normal fight and flee. It's more than that. And I go through them. I give you a simple body exercise that you can do in less than 15 seconds to have what I call a pattern disrupt, which is what you've got to do with any feeling around stress, anxiety, or fear. And then,
Can I ask you to take me through that? If it's only 15 seconds, I gotta say that when you said that you'll feel it in your body first. Oh my gosh. I thought it was the move that I was making in all of this, and yesterday was the last day of the move for me. But I'm feeling it. My body aches. I'm having all these things. So please, if you wouldn't mind, take us through that exercise for 15 seconds and tell me how to reset that so I can get it out of there.
So let me just do a little, take a minute or two and explain. So fear signatures are either fight, flee, freeze, faint, or a combination. That gives you your 5. And so if you're have a fear signature of fight, you're going to hold it in your shoulders. You're going to feel it all there. Some of the words coming out of your mouth are going to be as if everybody's the enemy. The virus is the enemy, which it is, but your team is the enemy. No one's understanding you. You're going to have some reaction to that, and you're going to get stressed over it. So if you have a fight response, then you're just going to want to ooze your shoulders before you get on a Zoom call. You want to center yourself. That body movement stops the fear and the doubt in the moment, allows you then to take a breath, smile, 3 pattern disruptions that get you out of that situation, and then go ahead and do your next business action. And if you have to do that 10 times a day, if you're a fighter, then you just keep oozing your shoulders.
Love it. I don't know that that's where I'm feeling the fight on it, but go to the next one.
Well, you may not be a fighter. You may be a freezer.
I'm a fighter. I mean, I'll fight on good things, but I'm not feeling the fight on this one. So, okay. Go on to the next one.
Yeah. So a freeze response is a startled response. Huh? or someone asks you a question, normally you would answer it easily, and you just go, huh? Like your brain can't function. And that's what happens with these responses. It shuts down the brain for you to operate like you normally do. So if you have a kind of like, a startle, you physically come back a little bit, then all you got to do, you could even be doing this in a meeting, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. That's it.
Okay.
10 seconds. It's very, very simple. If you're what I call a fleer, you're the person that kind of says, I'm out of here. You actually, I'm out of here. And you actually may, when you're speaking to people, roll your eyes upward to either the left or the right. And what you're doing is fleeing the thoughts that are bombarding you. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So you want to do what I call the sumo position, the sumo wrestler position. You're going to squat, put your hands on your knees, and you're going to come down, and what you're doing, you're giving yourself some power in that moment, and you're breaking it. Again, then take a breath, smile, take your next business action.
Love it. Okay. So we had fight, we had flee, we had freeze. What's the fourth one? Faint. Okay.
All right. You actually kind of can go stupid. And that faint response is kind of going stupid. I don't know how else to say. It's not a professional word, but just so everyone. So you kind of go stupid. You just you can't even focus. Your energy. You can look at a person and see the energy drain from them, and that will give them that. Then you'll know that's a faint fear response, a fear signature from them. And so you've got to welcome yourself back. So you're going to take your arm, I'm going to try to do this in the Zoom frame, and welcome yourself back. Just kind of do this. Do it for about 10, 15 seconds. Again, take a breath, smile, take your next business action.
That's funny. I think I've had one of each of these in one way, shape, or form. But I was trying to go, okay, which one have I really had? I got to tell you, I've been really stupid for the last couple of days. Like, I can't tell you what the name of the thing is that I'm trying to describe. Like, where is the soap?
You're a fainter. Right now, you're a fainter.
it's in the placed in the thing, And so that is hilarious. Okay, so what's number 5?
Number 5 is a combo, and I happen to be a combo, and I am a freeze faint fighter, and it will happen in 3 to 4 seconds, and because I recognize it now. And so what you do, if you're a combination person, then you want to do the movements I've just explained in the previous 4 in the order that you do the fear signatures. So I'm going to wiggle my toes. I am going to welcome myself back, and I'm going to ooze my shoulders in the order of freeze, faint, fight.
Love it.
I've been working with some executives around this prior to coronavirus. And so now our sessions are shorter because some of the industries they're in, they're thriving, but they're so much under pressure that they actually get on with me on a Zoom call saying, I forgot, what do I got to do? And we actually do the movements so then they can go out for the next few hours and remind themselves that, okay, I am not, fear and doubt are not the truth. And that's what I tell everyone. Circumstances are, and that's what you need to deal with.
Love it. This has been so amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. And you're providing that. That's the piece that you're going to provide us. Excellent.
Yes.
Because I know this went through fast, and I know someone, oftentimes people are listening and driving in the car and, that kind of thing. So then we're going to make sure that you get a copy of these tips on how to manage your fear. Wow, this is amazing. I'm already thinking, because I have to get this out. I have been just under amazing stress, which is why I reached out to you. And your great reports. You've been doing some wonderful stuff on Facebook and on emails, sending out tips and tricks and ideas and things, just thoughtful information. And I'm so thankful. Thank you. It's because we need it, and we don't realize we need it until we see it.
Right.
And so this has been wonderful.
Good.
This is. So what else? What else can we do in the new normal now to get us through this time so we can be profitable and thriving on the other side?
Right. So let's talk about the business. So the two things that need to happen is that you really need to know your value. And if you're not sure what it is, you need to get help on knowing your value and increasing your value. And I don't just mean adding extra stuff to any package or thing you do. Value is intrinsic, and your value has to show the results you provide to folks. Now, we've been talking about that prior to the coronavirus. So if you're in business, you kind of know that. But I don't think people really know that it's the results that people can count on, and that you provide your voice, your conversation is the trust that they have in you to provide those results. And you have to change your messaging right now. You have to your messaging has to reflect that. So those are the two things that you can work on. You, meaning your audience, is on the value you provide, and do not get caught up in adding more stuff or lowering your prices. It's about what the results are that you truly provide. And here's my prediction around this. And this is my either next email or the second next email. What we're going to come into during the recovery. So remember, some of us are in crisis, some of us are in survival, and then it's the recovery. We are not in the recovery yet at all. When we go into the recovery period, we're going to be what I call the expert economy at the highest level. And those people that will survive are those that do these two things I just said. You truly get results for the value you put out there for your clients, and you can prove it, and your messaging describes it in such a way people give you their credit card or invoice and you get a check, however it goes for you.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. So give me an example of a perfect value statement for your situation. That way my listeners will know, and they'll be able to see the signature that you have.
So for me, what's coming up right now is I am adding more value to my knowledge around psychology, how people handle a lot of trauma, economic downturn. So right now, I start with my psychological power tools, like I did with the FAIR signatures, around helping my business owners come out of their crisis, maintain, or if they're thriving, hiring the right people. And so that is the piece I lead with. So I've always put them together equally. Right now, they need more of that than strategy. They need some strategy depending who they are, but it's really getting them through the psychological piece. And what I've noticed about everyone I speak to, every podcast I've been on lately, is people are reaching out around this because of that value. People need more of my time. And when it first happened 2 weeks ago, so why is it 5:00 and I haven't done anything on my to-do list, and all I have been is on the phone all day? Because in the moment I recognize what I would normally recognize when I was a therapist and when as a consultant working in the aerospace industry and NASA and refineries in the Gulf Coast, is that when stuff happens and you have that solution that's not tangible, then they need more of you. They need more of your conversation. You're developing more trust. So trust, if you can find in your value statement where you can develop that trust and actually talk about it or write about it in a way like I'm doing, like you mentioned, you reached out because you read some of my stuff and it felt solid to you, I just established trust between you and I. So that is what needs to happen now, and that's how you look at your value now through the crisis. Now the recovery period is going to be different. I'm going to come out with a message that says, you trust me, but now I know how to help you really be in the expert space and know how to get results and know how to train or consult, or even if you're a product business, how that's going to be repositioned through the writing you do or the copywriter you hire, whatever. So it's going to show up right through the growth period for most people.
Love it. You know, Because I am a financial business strategist as well, and we do things that are so similar but so complementary and so helpful for each other. I see these tools, and I've been preaching for now 51 episodes about the strategies and the tools and everything we come on. So it's just so wonderful to hear it from somebody else. So how do we decide, you've said it several times, how do we determine whether we're in a crisis or a survival mode? We all understand, I think it would be clear to understand what the recovery mode and the growth mode is.
Right.
How would you determine whether you're in crisis or survival mode?
You're in crisis if in the next 14 days you don't know if you're going to be still in business, or you've had to lay off everybody, or your business will no longer serve now or in the future, and you've got to pivot. You are in a crisis mode.
Gotcha. I think we all feel that in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a reality or not. But I think that how are things gonna look going forward? Because I can even say in my business, I've as a consultant, people are like, hey, maybe I need to put you off for a month or 2 months until this gets over. And I'm thinking to them, well, this is actually the time we need to work together. And so it's that pivoting people are doing, even in my own practice, on how to make sure that stays going. So I think we're in there a little bit each other. How can we push ourselves into the survival mode?
So that's where you're still going to be in business for the next 3 to 6 months. You may not bring in any extra money, but your income is still consistent enough. You may have to cut back on some of your team members' hours because you still need them and you don't want to let them go. Or if there's someone you've been thinking about letting go, now's the time to do it, because I'm a firm believer in hiring slow and firing fast. Here's your opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's more maintenance. And if you are in maintenance mode and you're in that survival mode, now's the time. Your business spoke to you during this last 2 weeks, a month, depending where you live in the country. And those of you that maybe are 2 or 3 weeks behind some of the major cities, we just don't know what's that's going to look like for anyone across the United States. Your business spoke to you and let you know what was missing. So if anything you're going to do, as long as you're not losing money or that much money, you need to invest in that in some way. Whether you read a book, there are so many free webinars, but I'll make a comment on that later. There's so many, you shouldn't be on everything. You should be working your business. I just have to have that. But it is time. And people are reaching out to me because the one thing before the coronavirus was their sales were okay, and now they stink. And so I actually have a new client that came on because she's like, it's so obvious, and I was ignoring it, which a lot of people do with sales. A lot of people don't like sales. They don't like to use the word, but yet it's a business fundamental. So the other thing I'll say around business is the one thing you must shore up now are all business fundamentals while we figure out how we're going to look like as a business economy moving forward.
Love it. I spoke about some of that on last week's podcast about the things that you should be doing now that business has shifted. You should be working on your business. And I think that shoring up those fundamentals is essential. Find the gaps that you have in your business, find the challenges that you're facing. And now that we have a little bit more free time because, you're not traveling back and forth to the office, maybe you're not seeing your clients as much as often as you'd like to have, but use that time effectively to find those gaps that you have in your business. And I love that you stated that. Yes,
absolutely. And if you don't do it now, you will not survive the recovery period. You will be out of business.
Yes, because if you have to react and fix things later on when you're trying to get the train moving again, it will crash everything down. So great piece of advice. So what other pieces, little tidbits do you have for us today that we just need to know about?
Yeah, so I think the first thing I'll say, and I alluded it to just a few minutes ago, is about not getting sucked into not doing anything or relying that you have a second income so you're not worried financially, and but that's not good business. I don't care if you have 10 additional incomes from other people that support you. If you are really taking on the mantle of I am a business owner, then act like one. Don't spend a ton of time on Netflix and stuff. Give yourself some hours. Now, here's what I know about stress. It takes longer to do things. So that's okay. That piece I'm not denying of you. I'm just saying maybe you work 10 to 4, but you work consistently 10 to 4. And if you've got homeschool kids, I mean, oh my goodness. So there's that's a whole different other podcast, I'm sure, for you. And so, but be consistent every day. If you're,
get up, get ready.
Yeah,
get ready. Put your hair, do what you have to do. Get dressed.
Yeah. Whatever you do.
All day.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll say is now's the time to reach out to any possible contact you might have had in the past and just ask them, what's the most challenging thing going on with, and don't say with your business, because everyone is saying that. Just say something like, what's going on for you with your employees, or what's going on, what's your most challenging thing about working every day? Be specific, because people's brains aren't operating as clearly as possible. So give them something to hang on to. Now, this is not about asking for business. This is about just checking on all your contacts. They'll remember you called, or you sent an email, or I've sent extra emails and texts to my clients, and the feedback is, gosh, LoriAnne, thanks for caring, and no one's bolted. So, because here's what's going to happen in the time of recovery. Remember when I just said the gap shows right now what you weren't doing? And if they have hired you to do anything, or if you have a product, during their recovery, people are going to say, what can I do different? Who else should I hire, and who else should I get rid of? Yeah. It will be time for the next 3 to 6 months to protect what you have, and then to protect them moving forward. They won't stay with you just because you've been great during this time. If someone comes along and is ahead of you and the value you're providing. So it all works together. That's why it's so critical.
I just wrote that down. Just to be of value and to be of greater value in that. So in the recovery period, they're going to stay with you. I love that. This is
protect your business. It's all about protecting your business. Yes.
Well, it is. And I think that I've been hearing a lot from the people I've been listening to is that the businesses that survive crises like this and that are born or structured or developed in crises like this, they're going to be the great companies of the future.
Yes.
Because if we look at the real power leaders, they were all created during a time of crisis.
They were.
So now I stress to the listeners to say, hey, what can I do now? Not shift your entire business, but to improve the value of your business so that you can be one of those strengths and pillars going forward. And I think it's a great time now to do that research and make sure that you're being impactful as you can. So,
yeah, I think one more thing I'll add is what's being asked of you now is to be a leader. It really is. Mm-hmm. You need to lead yourself, know what your health protocols are, keep yourself healthy as much as possible. Do the things that you have to do in your area to keep healthy. Because if you're not, you can't do all the stuff we've just been talking about. And then, of course, it's your family. I get to live alone now. So I have a grown son who lives in his own house and has to deal. But, we still are in contact with each other. How can we support each other? More calls to my mother. I mean, you need to do those things. So you have to lead your family. But then you have to lead your business, whether you have a team or not. And if you don't, again, it will not serve you well.
Love it. Thank you, LoriAnne. This is amazing. So, where can we find out more about you? Do you have a website? Do you have what's your website?
Yes. So my website is my name. It's pretty easy. It's LoriAnneReeves.com, and it's spelled LORI, capital ANNE, all one word. And Reeves is REE, V as in Victor, ES.com. Pretty simple.
Perfect.
And my email's the same, LoriAnne at LoriAnneReeves.com. So any additional feedback your folks need, I'd be glad to respond.
Thank you so much. And where can they find that special report that we talked about, the 5 fear signatures?
Yes. So it's fearsignatures, plural.com.
Oh, easy. Love it.
Very easy.
Simplicity is everything.
It is. And I actually just picked it up the other day. I was so shocked it was available, but I guess I'm the one who's supposed to be talking about it. So
That's it. That's great. Okay. Well, thank you again for being on Profit with a Plan podcast. And if there's anything that our listeners have, reach out to LoriAnne. She's been very helpful, and I'm sure she'd be totally open to hearing any of your comments. So thanks for listening today. I hope you found an idea or two to put into your business that will make you more in control over your money and more profitable. If you'd like to know specifically how to increase your own profits in your business, let's chat. My contact information will be in the podcast description. And I'm super excited to announce my new book. It's Big Profit Secrets Exposed. It's out on Amazon. There'll be a link to the book in the podcast notes. So, and if not, you can always send me an email at Marcia@Bella Financial Group, so that way we can talk. And if you want podcast notes, you can get it there as well on my email. So you can catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players, and we're looking forward to more great profitable information on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with it. Thanks.